Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel, Fluent Pro Hub.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Fluent Pro Hub. I'm your host, Emily, and as always, I'm thrilled to have you here with us today. And of course, I couldn't do this without my favorite co-host, Ethan. How's it going, Ethan?
Hey, Emily. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And honestly, I'm super excited about today's topic because it's one of the most powerful tools for mastering English: root words. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the sheer number of words in English, this episode is going to change the game for you.
That's right, Ethan. Understanding root words is like having a secret key to unlock thousands of words without having to memorize each one individually. For example, take the root word port, which means to carry. Once you know that, words like transport, import, and export suddenly make so much more sense.
And it's not just about learning new words. It's about understanding their meanings deeply and using them confidently. By the end of this episode, you'll have practical strategies to master root words and supercharge your vocabulary. So grab a notebook, settle in, and let's get started.
You know how sometimes it feels like the English language just throws a million new words at you?
Oh, yeah,
And try to keep up feels like, well, a never-ending climb.
definitely. It can be overwhelming.
Well, for you, today, we've got a different route. Maybe a smarter, more efficient way to really build your understanding of English vocabulary. Something that's actually going to stick.
Exactly. We're taking a deep dive into root words today.
Root words.
Think of these as the core components, like the foundational pieces that underpin so many words in English.
Right.
Once you grasp these, you'll start to see connections between words that might have seemed, totally unrelated before. It's about understanding how the language itself is built.
It's kind of like understanding Lego bricks, maybe.
Yeah.
Once you know the basic shapes and how they connect, you can build all sorts of complex stuff.
That's a great analogy.
Like take a simple root, like port, which means to carry. Suddenly, words like transport, import, export, and portable all just sort of click into place because you recognize that shared idea, that carrying something idea.
Yeah, that core meaning.
It's pretty powerful stuff when you see it in action.
It truly is. And that's really our mission for you in this deep dive, to
Yeah.
show how mastering these root words isn't just, another round of rote memorization.
Not another flashcard drill.
Right. It's about tapping into the actual logic of the English language, which can make expanding your vocabulary not only easier, but actually, quite enjoyable for you.
Okay, so we're not just handing you another list of words to study. That's good. But why is this focus on root words such a game changer specifically for you, the listener? Let's unpack this a bit.
Okay. Well, the advantages really are significant for anyone looking to expand their vocabulary efficiently. For one, it lets you grow your word knowledge much faster.
Faster, how so?
Instead of learning individual isolated words, you begin to understand entire families of words all at once.
Ah, okay.
Consider the root spect, meaning to see.
Right, spect.
Once you understand that, words such as inspect, to look closely into something, perspective, looking through a particular viewpoint,
Okay.
spectacle, something remarkable to see, and spectator, someone who sees an event, they become much more accessible.
So you're unlocking meaning across a whole group just from that one root.
Exactly. A whole group of related terms.
Right, it's like a ripple effect. And I'm guessing this has a big impact when you're reading, right? You know how frustrating it can be to get bogged down by unfamiliar words.
Absolutely. Huge impact. Recognizing root words significantly improves your reading comprehension.
Okay.
When you encounter a new word and you spot a familiar root within it, you can often make a pretty good guess about its meaning, a well-informed guess.
So it makes reading less intimidating.
Much less daunting, yeah. And it allows you to maintain a smoother flow of understanding as you go through texts. You don't stop as often.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like having a set of built-in clues to decipher even the trickier vocabulary.
That's a good way to put it. Built-in clues.
And personally, I find that when I understand the why behind something, it tends to stick in my memory much better. Is that the case with root words for you too?
Definitely. Understanding the origin, the etymology of words through their roots greatly enhances how well you retain them.
Right.
If you know that graph comes from a root meaning to write or to draw, it becomes easier to remember autograph, your own writing, biography, writing about a life and graphics, something vividly visual, almost like a drawing.
Ah, I see. There's a logical link there.
Exactly. That logical link makes these words more memorable for you.
So it's not just about knowing more words. It's also about feeling more confident, maybe more articulate when you express yourself, speaking or writing.
Precisely. A broader vocabulary allows for more precise and clearer communication.
Right.
When you have a better understanding of the nuances of different words through their roots, you can choose the most fitting word to convey your meaning.
And that builds confidence.
It really does. Confidence in your communication skills.
And for you out there who might be preparing for, say, standardized English tests like TOEFL or IELTS, this approach seems particularly valuable.
Oh, it really is. Those exams often include pretty sophisticated vocabulary.
Yeah, they do.
Knowing root words gives you a distinct advantage. You can decode complex terms even if you haven't actually seen that specific word before.
So it's like a secret weapon for test day.
Kind of. It becomes a powerful tool in your test-taking strategy, for sure.
Okay, so the benefits are clear. Root words are a really smart way for you to tackle vocabulary growth. Let's get into some specific examples. Let's start with that port root we mentioned earlier,
Good idea.
which, as we said, comes from Latin and means to carry.
A great starting point. So let's take the word transport. We know port means to carry,
Right.
and the prefix trans often indicates across. So when you put this together,
Okay, trans across, port carry, carrying something across from one place to another. And we see that all the time. The goods were transported by truck. It's fundamental, really.
Absolutely. Now consider import. Again, we have port meaning to carry,
Okay.
and the prefix im often means into. So how does that combine for you?
Into, port carry. Carrying something into a place, like into a country from somewhere else.
Precisely.
Like India imports coffee beans from Brazil. That makes perfect sense,
Yeah.
especially with global trade.
Exactly. And what about the opposite action?
Ah, the opposite. That would be export, right?
You got it.
Port to carry, and ex meaning out of. So to carry goods or services out of one country to another, like this company exports textiles worldwide.
Yeah.
See how the prefixes just change that core meaning?
You're grasping this really quickly. Let's look at a slightly different application now. What about portable?
Portable. Okay, port is carry.
And the suffix to table means capable of. Yeah.
Capable of being carried. So something that can be easily carried or moved. Like she bought a portable speaker for her trips. So much of our tech is portable now, isn't it? For convenience.
It really is. Now for one that's maybe a bit more nuanced. Portfolio.
Portfolio. Still got port carry.
Right. But the suffix folio has connections to papers or documents, like leaves of paper.
Carrying papers.
Yeah.
Okay, so would that relate to like a collection of documents? Or maybe a body of work someone carries together to show?
You're right on track.
Like an artist's portfolio of their paintings, or maybe a financial portfolio of investments?
Exactly right. He presented his portfolio during the job interview. That's a classic example.
Wow.
So you can see, just by understanding that single root, port, you've not only figured out these 5 words.
Yeah, transport, import, export, portable portfolio.
But you've also gained the ability to sort of infer the meanings of other related words you might encounter.
Like you mentioned, airport, report, maybe passport.
Exactly. Airport carries people by air. Report carries information back. Passport lets you carry yourself across borders. It really expands your understanding quite significantly, doesn't it?
It's genuinely fascinating to see how one root can branch out like that. Okay, let's keep building on this. Let's look at some more examples of these really useful root words to further illustrate the point for you. What's next?
Let's delve into the root spect, which we touched on earlier. It means to see.
Right. Spect, to see.
Another very common and incredibly useful one. Consider the word inspect.
Okay.
We know spect is to see, and the prefix in often means into. What does that suggest?
Inspect. To look closely into something, like when you're carefully examining it.
Precisely.
Or like the example, the inspector will inspect the building tomorrow. It's a very focused kind of seeing.
It is. Now let's think about perspective.
Perspective. Okay.
We have per, meaning through, spect, meaning to see, and the suffix nive often indicates something relating to. How did those parts combine for you?
Per through, spect, see. So perspective is like seeing through a particular viewpoint
Yeah.
or attitude. From my perspective, the project was a success. It's about how you see things, right?
Yeah.
Based on your position.
Perfectly put. And finally, for this root, let's look at spectacle.
Spectacle.
Here we have spect, to see, and the suffix acle often denotes something remarkable. What comes to mind?
Something remarkable to see. Like a visually striking performance or a big display.
Yes.
Something that grabs your attention. The fireworks were a true spectacle, something meant to be seen and admired.
You've got it. Now let's shift focus slightly. Let's look at the root graph.
Okay, great.
It means to write or to draw. This one's really helpful for understanding words related to communication and recording information for you.
Graph, write, or draw. Got it. Give me an example.
How about autograph? We have auto meaning self,
Self.
and graph meaning to write. What does that tell you?
Autograph. Your own writing. Your signature. Like when fans want a memento,
Correct.
fans lined up to get the actor's autograph. It's personal writing.
Exactly. Next up, biography. We have bio meaning life and graph meaning to write. So what would a biography be for you?
Writing about a life. An account of someone's life written down.
Precisely.
I'm reading a biography of Albert Einstein. The story of his life.
And lastly, for graph, let's try graphic. We know graph is to write or draw.
Right.
And the suffix "-eke" means relating to. What does that suggest?
Graphic.
Look at
Relating to drawing.
Yeah.
So something vividly detailed.
Yes.
Or visual.
Vivid.
Like the graphic illustrations captured everyone's attention. It makes you picture it strongly.
Wonderful. Let's just look at one more common root. Dict,
Dict. Okay.
which means to speak or to say. You'll find this in lots of words about communication and making statements for you.
Dict to speak. Okay. How about predict? That has dict in it.
Good one. We have pre, meaning before,
Before.
and dict, meaning to say. So what does that combine to mean for you?
To say something before it happens. To say something will happen in the future.
Exactly.
The weather forecast predicts rain tomorrow. A statement about the future.
Makes sense. What about contradict?
Contradict. Okay. Contra means against.
Right.
And dict means to say. So to say something against what someone else said. Say the opposite.
Perfect. Her actions contradicted her promises. A statement going against another one.
Got it. And the last one for dict, dictionary. So it's a bit more complex.
Let's break it down. We have dict, to say.
Okay.
Ion, often indicating an action or process.
Action of saying.
Sort of. And enery, relating to. How does that come together for you?
So relating to the act of saying words. A book with explanations of words.
Essentially, yes. Look up the word in the dictionary. It's a resource related to words and how we say or define them.
It's really eye-opening how much sense words make when you understand these core roots. It feels like unlocking a secret code to English for you.
It kind of is.
So now that you know why root words are important and we've explored some really useful examples, how can you actually put this knowledge into practice, effectively in your own learning?
Right. That's the crucial next step for you. Here are some actionable tips to really integrate this. Firstly, focus on the most common roots.
Start with the big ones.
Exactly. We've covered several good ones. Port, spect, graph, dict. Others like tract, meaning to pull, and struct, meaning to build, are also excellent starting points.
Why those?
Because they appear in a huge number of English words you'll encounter daily. Maximum bang for your junk, so to speak.
So prioritize the high-frequency roots first. Got it.
Yeah.
What's another practical step for you?
Next, make it a habit to try and break down new words you come across.
Analyze them.
Yeah. Look for any prefixes, roots, or suffixes you recognize. For instance, take deconstruct.
Okay, deconstruct.
We know struct means build,
Right.
con often means together, and de can mean down or apart.
So build together, down, take apart.
Exactly. To take apart or analyze the structure of something, this active analysis really helps solidify your understanding.
That's a really hands-on tip, almost like being a linguistic detective for you.
It is. Another effective technique for you is, well, good old flashcards.
Flashcards, okay.
On one side, write the root and its meaning. On the other, list several example words that use it.
And review them regularly.
Definitely. Regular review reinforces those connections.
Still a powerful tool. What about making it a bit more, engaging, fun for you?
Absolutely. Incorporate word games.
Like what?
There are tons of apps, puzzles like crosswords, Scrabble, word searches. They can be a fun way for you to encounter root words in context and test your knowledge.
So it doesn't feel like study.
Exactly. It feels like playing, but you're still learning.
I love that idea. Sneaking in learning while having fun. Anything else for more active learning?
Yes, read actively. When you're reading anything in English, books, articles, online stuff, make a conscious effort.
To do what?
Highlight words that contain roots you recognize. And before you check a dictionary, try to guess the meaning based on the root and the context.
Test yourself first.
Yes, that active engagement really deepens your understanding.
That sounds like a great way to really solidify the connection in your mind while you're actually reading.
Definitely. And here's a tip that can really boost your retention. Try explaining root words to someone else.
Teach it.
Yeah. Teaching these concepts forces you to organize your own understanding clearly. You quickly find out what you don't know well enough.
True. Often the best way to really learn something is to try and teach it. And what's a good way for you to keep track of all this?
Keep a vocabulary journal. A simple notebook works fine.
What goes in it?
Whenever you encounter a new word and you learn its root, jot it down. Include the root, the word, its meaning, maybe a sample sentence.
Right.
Over time, this journal becomes a really valuable personal resource. You can look back and actually see how your vocabulary is growing through this method.
These are all really practical, actionable strategies for you to use. But let's be honest, learning anything new, it can have its hurdles, right?
For sure.
What advice do you have for you, our listener, if you start to feel a bit overwhelmed? Or maybe discouraged while learning root words?
That's a very important point. It's crucial for you to be patient with yourself. Mastering this, like any skill, takes time and consistent effort.
Patience is key.
Absolutely. Firstly, make sure to celebrate the small wins.
What do you mean?
Every time you successfully spot a root in a word or you learn a new derivative, just take a moment. Acknowledge your progress. Those small wins really add up.
Okay, so recognize the progress, stay positive.
Secondly, don't be afraid of making mistakes. If you misinterpret a word based on its root,
Which will happen.
it will happen. See it as a learning opportunity for you. Analyze why you made that mistake. Adjust your understanding. Mistakes are just part of learning.
Right. Mistakes are just stepping stones, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thirdly, strive for consistency.
How consistent?
Even just 10 to 15 minutes each day dedicated to root words will yield significant results for you over time. Regular, focused effort beats sporadic cramming every time.
Little and often wins the race.
It really does. And finally, maybe consider connecting with others.
Other learners.
Yeah. Join online forums, maybe find study groups, places where you can share tips, ask questions, discuss root words with fellow learners.
Learning together can help with motivation.
Absolutely. It provides motivation and a sense of community for you. You're not alone in it.
That's great advice. It really emphasizes being patient, persistent, and finding ways to make learning sustainable and maybe even enjoyable for you. So as we start to wrap things up, we've really explored the depth and power of root words today. What's the key takeaway you'd want you, our listener, to remember?
I think the core message is that understanding and mastering root words gives you an incredibly effective, efficient pathway to expand your English vocabulary.
Effective and efficient.
By grasping these fundamental building blocks, you'll not only increase the number of words you know,
Right.
but you'll also significantly deepen your comprehension and build greater confidence in your ability to communicate clearly and effectively.
So it's about understanding the structure.
Exactly. Understanding the underlying structure of the language itself for you.
Absolutely. It shifts vocabulary learning from just, memorizing endless lists to actually understanding the logic behind the word.
Which makes it less intimidating.
A whole lot less intimidating and maybe more accessible for you.
Precisely. Every root word you learn really acts like a key.
A key.
Yeah, unlocking a multitude of related terms and opening up a whole new landscape of vocabulary for you.
And on that note, here's maybe a final thought for you to consider. Think about all the English words you encounter every day. And emails, reading online, listening. How many of them might be connected by these common roots that we've talked about today? Start looking for those connections.
You might be surprised.
You might just be surprised at how much of the language you can already start to decode. Until our next deep dive, keep exploring those roots.
If you found this video helpful, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe for more engaging content to improve your English. Keep practicing and take care.